Have you ever caught a girl staring at you a second too long, then quickly looking away and smiling like she got caught doing something she shouldn't? And you brushed it off as nothing? That small moment might have been the clearest sign she was ever going to give you, and you walked right past it. Today we're breaking down 11 things a girl does when she likes you as more than a friend. The subtle signals most guys completely miss because they're looking for something obvious when the real language of attraction is quiet. The first thing she does is create proximity, without making it look planned. She sits a little closer than she needs to. She ends up in the same spaces as you more often than seems random. This isn't an accident, and it isn't calculated either. It's her body pulling her toward you before her mind even catches up. When someone is drawn to you, distance starts to feel uncomfortable to them, so they close it without even noticing they're doing it. The second thing is she remembers details you mentioned in passing. Not the big things, the small ones. A joke from weeks ago, a minor worry you brought up once, a plan you casually mentioned. If she brings it back up out of nowhere, that means she was listening at a different level than normal conversation. People don't file away details about things they don't care about. Filing away your life means some part of her is already invested in it. Third, she reaches out for no real reason. A meme, a random thought, a song that reminded her of something you said. The content of the message barely matters. The message itself is the point. It means you crossed her mind, and she wanted an excuse to talk to you. Most guys wait for a clearly romantic text and miss dozens of quiet ones that already said the same thing in a smaller voice. Fourth, she gets a little more invested in your interactions with other women. Nothing dramatic, just a slightly pointed comment, a subtle shift back into the conversation, a bit more attention when another girl's name comes up. This isn't insecurity, it's an old, irrational wiring most people have where interest in someone increases the moment they sense other people are interested too. She may not even fully register she's doing it. Fifth, her body language changes around you specifically. She touches her hair. She angles her body toward you even mid-conversation with someone else. Her laugh comes a little quicker and a little louder. Eye contact lasts a beat longer than it needs to. These aren't things people plan out. They're automatic responses that happen faster than conscious thought. Sixth, she lets you into details she doesn't share with everyone. A fear, an embarrassing memory, something she's genuinely proud of but doesn't bring up casually. This is a test whether you notice it or not. She wants to see if you'll treat what she shares with care or if you'll brush past it. How you respond in that moment says more to her than almost anything else you could do. Seventh, she builds inside jokes with you. A private phrase, a reference only the two of you understand, something that means nothing to anyone else in the room. This is a small way of marking a connection as separate from every other friendship she has. She's not doing this with everyone, she's doing it with you specifically. Eighth, she gets a little competitive or protective of your time. She might tease you about being busy, ask who you are with, act a bit put out if plans change last minute. It's playful on the surface, but underneath it's her noticing that your attention is something worth having and not wanting to lose access to it. Ninth, she initiates physical closeness in small, calibrated ways. A touch on the arm while laughing, standing closer than a typical friend would, a hand that lingers a moment longer than necessary before pulling back. These moments are usually brief and easy to miss if you're not paying attention, but they are rarely accidental. People don't offer physical closeness carelessly to someone they feel nothing for. 10th, she asks about your future plans in a way that includes herself, even subtly. Questions about where you see yourself, what you're doing next month, whether you'll be around for something coming up. She's quietly checking if there's room for her in the picture, without ever having to say that out loud. 11th, and this is the one almost nobody catches until much later, she gets nervous around you in a way she isn't around other people. She talks a little faster. She double-checks what she just said. She seems slightly more self-conscious than her usual easygoing self. Comfort and confidence usually go together. So when someone who is normally relaxed gets a little flustered specifically around you, that's not randomness. That's your presence having an effect on her that she can't fully control. None of these signs mean much on their own. A single lingering glance or one text about a meme could be nothing. But when you start noticing several of these stacking together around the same person, that's not coincidence anymore. That's a pattern. And patterns are the actual language people use when they're not ready to say something outright. Here's the part most guys get wrong. They wait for a woman to spell things out in plain words, and when she doesn't, they assume there's nothing there. But most people, especially early on, communicate interest through actions long before they're willing to risk saying it directly. Words carry risk. A raised eyebrow, a remembered detail, a hand that lingers a second too long. Those carry almost none. So that's where the real signal lives. If you've been missing these signs in the past, it doesn't mean you're bad at reading people. It just means nobody ever pointed out what to actually look for. Most of us grew up learning what confessions of love look like in movies: dramatic, obvious, unmistakable. Real life rarely works that way. Real interest shows up in small, repeated, easy to miss moments, and once you know what they look like, you start seeing them everywhere you couldn't before. The next time you notice someone remembering something small you said weeks ago, reaching out for no clear reason, or getting just a little more nervous than usual around you, don't brush it off as nothing. Pay attention to the pattern, not the single moment. That's usually where the real answer has been the whole time.